It is your witchy friend Grace from Small World's Big Adventures with a little Spooktober announcement before our review of the maddening game Elder Sign. This week we will be giving away a game from our personal collection. This week's game is Hako Onna, the heart-stopping game about trying to escape a haunted house. To qualify, you must live in the United States and comment on at least one video this week, October 22nd through the 28th. We will then randomly choose a winner from the comments. Also, everyone who comments throughout the month, the 1st through the 30th, will be entered for a brand new copy of Horrified, a maddening cooperative board game with iconic monsters. We'll announce the winner by commenting on one of the person's comments and announce on each Sunday's video who has won. The more videos you comment on, the greater your chance to win. So let us know your thoughts on each game. Hi, I'm Gracie, and this is Scott with Small World's Big Adventures, and today we're going to be reviewing Elder Sign.
Elder Sign is a game for 1 to 8 players. It plays in about 90 minutes. It's $40, although right now on Amazon it says it's $25. Setup is 10 minutes, maybe a bit more. Not too long, but right in there. The game is another Lovecraftian horror game. You and your group of adventurers are trying to solve a horror in a museum. You lay out a bunch of mission cards, and you try and defeat the mission cards and gather elder signs until you can shut down the bad thing while increasing your power and hopefully not failing so much that you lose the entire game. Sure.
Before we get into our review, our question for today is, what is your favorite museum? Mine is probably the Natural History Museum in Chicago.
Yeah, that's
with Sue.
That's what I was going to say too. Is the Field Museum?
No, I'm going to take it back.
She's going to take it back.
I'm going to take my favorite is the Holocaust Museum in DC. If you want to be traumatized, it is the place to go. Beautifully done throughout.
Sure. Des Moines has a good Iowa History Museum, which is at least when we were there, free. So can't beat that.
If you're in Des Moines, if you have family in Des Moines, take them there.
But my favorite museum is the Field Museum in Chicago. It's just so huge. It's hard to see everything in one day. Yeah. It's got some really great exhibits.
Yeah. Going into our review, we do our ratings on a 5-point scale from terrible, bad, mixed, good to excellent. And to kick it off, we're going to talk about player agency. I said it was good. You get to move to whatever card, case, solvey thing you're going to do. And then you get a chance to roll dice to solve the mystery of that card. So as far as like movement around the board, it's pretty open and you have a lot of say in what you're doing on your turn.
Yeah. I also said good with a /limited. You have the option, you have a number of cases set out, I think depending on how many people are playing, I believe. And usually it's quite a bit more than are playing. You can go to any of them, but that's basically all you do is you go from case to case, or you go to the front where you can basically rest and stock some supplies. So there's not really a lot of options, but of the options that the game has, you can basically do anything. Some of them you won't be able to solve because you don't have enough dice. I'm not sure if we mentioned that in the game description, but this is essentially a dice rolling game. It's not quite a dice drafting game, but you do gain more dice as you go through, so you can be more powerful and take on harder missions. I'd say good.
Yeah. As far as mechanics go, I said they were also good. It's not an overly complex game when it comes down to it. You choose the little equation you think you can solve. You go there, you roll dice, you either do or don't.
Yep.
And it works well for the game.
And I also said good. You're right on the money. If you don't solve it, you get penalized, usually taking damage. Sometimes there's something worse. If you do solve it, then you get a series of rewards. Yeah. Although even solving some of these, given that it's a Lovecraft game,
of course,
can be bad for you too. But yeah, the mechanics work. Yeah. They're good.
Components wise, I went mixed. And it's one of those things, like, it is a fairly modern game. It doesn't even have standees for your characters.
Yeah, you just get a little token.
It'd be a token. And aside from that, and the dice, it's just cards.
Yeah.
Beautiful artwork. Fantasy Flight knows how to do their Arkham Horror artwork, but like there's not a lot to it.
Yeah. So I said good. We talked about the price for this. $40 is on the low end for a lot of modern games now. And honestly, I generally do see it for less than that. I don't remember what we got our copy for. I don't know if it was as low as 25, but you can a lot of times catch it at a price close to that or 30. Honestly, the game really doesn't need the tokens. You just need to point at the mission that you're doing, because you're not staying there generally. So in a technical sense, in a co-op game, you are, because you can help. If you fail, you help the next person that comes along, which is kind of why they need the tokens. But like, this didn't need characters really for it. You just needed to know where everybody was at. So it's kind of a weird spot. The cards are good. Like you said, the art is good. Like everything in the game is well done. It just, the little tokens for the characters is a little bit wonky. Yeah. I wish they had something better. Even if it was just you get a mat for like all your stuff and a color, and you just put a color token, like a meeple on it or something like that, would have been, in my opinion, better than a little tiny picture that's sometimes hard to see of what your character is. And this kind of goes into the theming. There is a lot of story and lore on those cards. Every mission has stuff. Every card has stuff. There's a lot of really good storytelling going on. And if you didn't have anything else to say about the components,
I was just gonna go off of something you said with them being tiny and hard to see. We're getting older.
Yeah, sure.
And when there are tiny pieces that I have to pick up off the table, I get annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Why is this not taller so I can just pick it up?
No, it should have been some sort of plastic counter, a meeple or something like that.
Give me a little cube.
Something. I thought the theming was good, mainly because the storytelling is so great. I don't like that we're expected to believe all this is happening in a museum.
That's fair. That is very fair.
You had a complaint similar to this for a different game, and I almost go down to mixed because of that. But like, honestly, just the storytelling on the cards and stuff is really well done. That I think the theming is actually good.
Yeah. I also said good. I had never really thought about, all this crazy shit's happening in this one museum. Not that it couldn't, but you know.
Yeah.
But for me, where this game shines is the flavor text. Like, if you're a person who skips over the flavor text, you're not going to see what is great about this game.
Yeah.
Things I do like about the theme of this versus some of the other Arkham horror games is it does feel very much more like mission driven, as far as like, if this was really going on, you're more likely going to have had someone be like, hey, can you go check this thing out and take care of it? Versus a lot of the other board games where you're like moving around and you're like happening upon stuff.
Yeah.
Which I guess could happen too. But the fact that it's so mission driven, you know me, I love a good checkbox. Yeah. I like to check the box.
Yeah, sure.
And this is an Arkham game where you get to check the box.
You get to check the box.
Look at all the boxes I checked.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And going with that, for me, enjoyability is good. We kind of touched on it. Like, it is razor's edged, and it can be very hard to like accomplish, like get it through. Some of the people we normally play with, they found this more stressful than fun. But I enjoyed it. I like getting the little check boxes. I like accomplishing the task.
Yeah, that's fair. My enjoyment for this is mixed. It's probably my least favorite of the Fantasy Flight Lovecraftian games. I do like a good dice drafting game, but I feel like this doesn't quite reach that level.
That's fair.
And I in some ways kind of agree that like the difficulty for this can be hard.
Yeah.
Even winning a lot of these, you take some form of penalty. The clawing back from a penalty can be a little tricky. You don't heal much. You don't, like, that can kind of be an issue with the other types of Lovecraftian games too, but like in this, it seems a little more punishing, so that at the end, even if you win, like you're winning really tattered. Like you're barely making it over that finish line in a lot of the games. Some games you won't.
Oh, sure.
Part of it is kind of the opposite way. what you said for one of the other games is it comes down to those dice rolls.
Yeah.
If you don't get those dice rolls, then
It's true.
you're going to lose. If you do get the dice rolls, then you're going to win. You can usually plan ahead, which ones you think you can win. But you can still lose even on an easy one.
Yeah.
So yeah, my enjoyability for this one is mixed.
That's fair. Final thoughts. Having the cases and the little like things you solve feels very like tangible progress for me. Which I like.
Yeah.
I also like that if you fail, you're still there helping someone.
Yeah.
Which is very handy.
It's a good mechanic.
It in my opinion kind of helps overcome that like, well, shit's just hitting. Like I never win. Even if you're not winning the card, you're helping someone else move towards not letting Elder Gods take over the world.
Right.
And then that in general, like if you like Arkham Horror, like any of the other Arkham Horror games, you're probably gonna like this, at least on some level.
Yeah.
Like it is the same. What is it they say? It is on brand for a Fantasy Flight Arkham game.
Yeah. It's generally cheaper than the others, and honestly, they do a good job of making kind of at least their main games feel like they're different. This is taking place in the small museum, and like all of the theming kind of plays into that. Arkham Horror takes place across the city, and that feels like you're running around a city.
Eldritch Horror
takes place across the world, and it feels like you're globetrotting adventurers. Yeah, yeah, I agree. This is a good spot in that. Yeah. Meh for a dice game. Again, I like a good dice drafting game. We'll actually mention one in our if you like these types of games. This doesn't quite reach that for me.
Yeah.
And my second thought is it's really unforgiving. And the med dice thing goes into that. Like a good example of one of the like least favorite mechanics for this game is that while you get some extra dice, the big thing there are 3 different colors of dice that get more powerful as they go on, but there are fewer of them. And some of the missions can come out and lock those more powerful dice away, so you can't use them. And if you can't complete that mission, you simply can't use that more powerful dice. And that makes the game hard in a way that feels punishing to me rather than just challenging.
That's fair.
And my final thought is there's an app game for this on my phone, which I've played a bunch of times. The app works well. It's cheaper, and you're playing the game. At least the base game. If you think you like it, that might be something to check out too. You can play it on the go. The only thing that doesn't have, and this does, like a lot of the Fantasy Flight Arkham games, is there are expansions. I don't think the app has any of them. It's just the base game.
Because I don't know. I haven't played the. Can you play with others on the app?
I think you can. I don't think you can play with other phones. I think you play passing the phone around, if I remember correctly. I haven't played it in a while.
That's fair. If you like H.P. Lovecraft, as with all of these Arkham games, then you're probably going to like Elder Sign. If you like games like Fantastic Factories, which is
another dice drafting game,
this is probably going to be a good vibe for you. And then if you like Lords of Waterdeep, like I do, and you like to collect the little missions and check off those boxes, this is also probably going to be a good game for you.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed our review and our contrasting opinions, the like button. If you want to hear more game reviews, gamekeeper tips, even board game walkthroughs, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you hit the notification bell, next time we upload, you'll be notified.
Yay.
If there's nothing else, see you next time.